Muy bien, tengan todos muy buenas tardes. Les habla el profesor Luis Romero y vamos a tener nuestra primera clase del curso Structure of English. Así que sean todos bienvenidos a esta nuestra primera clase de Zoom para la cual me pongo totalmente a la orden y a través de las diferentes medios de comunicación que les he presentado en el primer mensaje que les he enviado. Así que atentos a ello para cualquier duda. Comenzamos nuestra clase. Ok, como dije anteriormente, estamos entonces en la semana número 1, nuestra primera grabación de Zoom. Esta grabación quedará en la plataforma para los que no hayan podido entrar. Muy bien, comenzamos. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre lo que es formal grammar and functional grammar. La diferencia entre entre estas dos posturas pertenecientes a la gramática. What is the objective? Differentiate between functional grammar and formal grammar. What is the assignment? The assignment, which is at the platform, is the following. Participate actively and with arguments in the forum discussion presented for the discussion. And there you have the following question. What is the difference between functional grammar and formal grammar? Okay, here you have some detail. The first thing that you have here is that the primary concern of formal grammar is with the forms of grammatical structures. This part is really important. Grammatical structures and their relationship to one another. Rather than then, there is an H missing there, THAN, with their meanings or their uses in different contexts. So, as you can see here, formal grammar is related to the grammatical structure of phrases and sentences. Then on the other side, you have what functional grammar is. The primary concern of functional grammar is with the functions of the structures and their constituents and with their meanings in context. So, uh, one aspect that differentiates the functional grammar with formal grammar is that this one is related to the function of the structures and is related to with meanings in context, while formal grammar is only related to the structures of phrases and sentences. The relationship between these two approaches is not far. I mean, these two um, these two aspects are related. For example, when you use a formal analysis, it must at some stage take account of meaning and function. So it is not totally divorced of what meaning and function is. The same thing happens with functional analysis. He says functional analysis must at some stage take into consideration the form, the structure of the sentences. So as you can see, they are both related. Here you have some aspects to be considered about what formal analysis is. One, formal grammar emphasizes in the study of the structure of a language. I said that some minutes ago. It makes emphasis of the structure of a language. And it can be done not only in English, but also in many other languages. A second aspect to be considered is this one. Formal grammar is a description of the structure of phrases or sentences based on established categories. In the following page, uh, in some pages, we will have some examples of those categories. Another point is that formal grammar is also known as a school grammar because it is the one that is taught at schools and high schools too, and also at some college or university. And I'll jump here to the last point that says it is widely used in language teaching all over the world. And it is the most widespread and elaborate grammar because when you work with formal grammar, you have to deal with a lot of points, with a lot of aspects. For example, these are some of the parts of the speech that are related to a formal grammar analysis. When you make a formal grammar analysis, you work with nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions. You have there some examples, determiners, and conjunctions. So um, these aspects are considered when you make a formal grammar analysis, which is totally different when you make a functional grammar analysis. Now, what happened with the functional grammar? The, the term functional grammar indicates that the approach is concerned with meaning as opposed to the formal grammar, which focuses on word classes such as nouns and verbs. I mean, the ones that I presented before, like these ones. So, the main difference between functional grammar and formal grammar is that this one, functional grammar, deals with meaning, and the other one deals with the study of word classes, and among them you have nouns and adverbs, and others too, of course. Another aspect that is considered when you make a functional grammar analysis is that it is interested to analyze language at the text level and its context rather than sentences. It is concerned, of course, with meaning. Mean formal, a formal grammar analysis worked with the study of some levels of the sentences. But when you have a functional grammar analysis, it is really interested in meaning. It is also used to describe language in actual use. And finally, it discusses aspects of the circumstances under which people enter into written or verbal communication. So this part is important because the functional grammar perspective not only deals with written forms, but also with verbal communication. So it works, it analyzes what's going on uh, within the sentence, but considering what meaning is. It focuses on meaning. An example to establish the difference between these two perspectives, formal grammar and functional grammar, is the following. Let's work with the following sentence. Sentence A says, I had also been rejected by the law faculty. And the other one says, the law faculty had also rejected me. From this one, from sentence B, we can obtain sentence A. This one is written in a passive voice, as a passive voice form, and thus the first one, sentence A, is written in a passive voice form. So I'll explain it again. The law faculty had also rejected me is written as an active voice. If I said passive, sorry, it is written as an active voice. Here we have the passive voice form had also been rejected because you have here the verb to be and the past participle, which converts it in a passive voice form, while this one, sentence B, is written in an active voice form. So formal grammarians will be primarily interested in finding the best abstract representation of the structure of the sentence. So what would formal grammarians do in this case? What would formal grammar analyze? Here we have to see some examples. Let's see. Here we have the formal grammar analysis. One, the movement of the constituent, the law faculty to a position at the end of the sentence following the preposition by. So here at the beginning, you had the law faculty had also rejected me, but now the law faculty, which is the subject of this sentence, now it becomes the subject, the object of the sentence, the agent of it, and it also has the preposition by. So here you have an important change, which is derived from the chain that it begins with an active sentence, then it changes to a passive sentence. So that subject now becomes the agent of the sentence. Another change or another form of grammar analysis would be the following. The movement of the constituent me to the front of the sentence and its change in form to I. Let's see. The law faculty had also rejected me. So this me becomes now the subject of the sentence and it changes to a personal pronoun like I. In this sentence, it was at the end of the sentence, but now it is at the beginning. Now we have in a passive voice form, I had also been rejected by the law faculty, while when I was at the active voice sentence, the the person or the person is at the end of it. So we have the law faculty had also rejected me. Another aspect is the following. The change from had rejected, an active form of the verb, to had been rejected, a passive voice of the verb. So in this one, this sentence, as I said previously, it's written in active voice, then it changes to passive voice. So that would be an analysis that is performed by a formal grammar analysis or by grammarians that work with formal grammar. Now let's see what happens when we take into consideration the functional grammar. Functional grammarians would also take such formal differences, okay? For example, okay, would take note of such formal difference between the active and passive structure. I mean, that is not an aspect simply related to the formal grammar analysis, but it is also important for a functional grammar analysis. But we have to make an emphasis here that the functional grammarians would be more concerned with questions such as the following. Functional grammar analysis. Let's see. One, how the communicative effect of the message in the sentence is different when it begins with I rather than with the law faculty. In sentence A, you have, I had also been rejected by the law faculty. And B, the law faculty had also rejected me. In this case, there is a communicative effect when you have I at the beginning of this passive form, and in this one, the subject of the sentence is not I, but the law faculty. So we have to take into consideration the purpose of the writer to place the law faculty at the beginning of the sentence and not the personal pronouns I. So these aspects are analyzed, are studied by by the functional grammar or by functional grammarians. Let's see another example. What the effect is of putting the law faculty at the end of the sentence. For instance, here you have, I had also been rejected by the law faculty. There is a purpose of the writer to put the law faculty as the agent of the sentence and not at the beginning. And number three, what features of the context may have led the writer to select passive rather than active voice? It would be an interesting question to ask the writer or to ask a functional grammarian or the writer, the one that the speaker, why he needed a sentence in active voice rather than one in passive voice like this one. So those aspects are analyzed by functional grammarians or by functional grammar. So here you can see that it is considering meaning rather than structure of the phrases, the structure of the sentences. Muy bien, con esto concluimos la presentación, no sin antes decirles que estamos a la orden para cualquiera de las dudas que ustedes puedan tener con respecto al tema que ya hemos trabajado. Recuerden comunicarse conmigo a través de mi número telefónico. Lo voy a presentar acá en este momento. Vamos a ver. Ok. Lo voy a escribir al final. Muy bien. Mi número telefónico, ya yo se los he enviado, pero lo voy a presentar nuevamente. Más 58 412 667 5997 o a través de mi correo electrónico de UNAC Florida, el cual es luis.romero @ unac.us. De la misma manera pueden comunicarse conmigo a través de la mensajería que está en la plataforma y poder entonces aclarar sus dudas. Muy bien, estamos a sus órdenes. Que tengan ustedes un feliz fin de semana.